Hello, this is Rob. I'm your humble professional engineer. So I'm coming to you with some a purchase I made, Lectric XPeak electric bike. It's my first one. So I just try to do videos that might help some people. This one would be the assembly. They have a really good video at Lectric as far as their service center videos, how to put it together. Watch that. The torque values, all that. But these are just some little caveats I saw when I was putting it together that might help other people. So I hope you enjoy the video, and then I'll do a quick test ride on it and on some pretty steep grades. All right. Been kind of keeping my eyes on a mountain bike type, and Lectric came out with a new XPeak, and I decided, you know, looks pretty good. They had the whole baskets and, you know, things that came with it for part of the price, right? It was their introductory price, just under $1,300. So I went ahead and gave it a shot. I had to wait about a month or so, I guess. I just got it a few days ago, but I have a video I'm working on that basically goes through, you know, assembly to a point. I'm trying not to, you know, there's stuff that's been done by Lectric. You can go to their service center and they have great videos on how to put it together. There's just a few caveats that I saw that you'll see in the video. And I thought about just kind of shortchanging, because some of that stuff you're working through, you know, and people, you know, kind of get bored. So what I'm going to try to do with this video is, this is kind of my introduction. This is the bike here. So here it's all completely assembled. It comes in the box. Maybe I'll cut those pieces in, but basically it comes in a box, a big box, and the front wheel is off, front fender's off. Everything else is on it. It's wrapped up really nicely. I had no damage in the box or anything like that. So the highlights of this, though, and I'll cut into maybe when I took it for a ride, but you know, was putting the front wheel on, and it does help to have someone help you. I lined it up. Straight axle goes through. They make it seem easy on the video where they have it back here, they have it up here, but that's pretty tight and snug. So, you know, you want it at least like that. You don't want it pointing forward so it catches on something. It was, it had a disc cover, but it did not have this black. There was a cap, they said on the video. It didn't have that. But it was, so I put it in, and the first thing that happened was the front wheel, I could tell the disc was touching the pad, and it was a little bit over. So that's one of the things, you know, I mean, it's you got to kind of work with the bike a little bit here. So now it's nice and quiet. So, but I guess what I'm getting at is, once you mount that, I turned the wheel, and it looked like the rotor needed to come out this way just a little bit. So I did. I loosened up these two bolts, and when I did that, I checked the rear bolts. They were very tight. They were tight. These were kind of loose. So I went ahead. It didn't have the little wedge in there either that it talks about taking out before you put the front wheel on, but the pads still had the space between it. But I loosened up these two Allens, and I went through kind of what I do on a brake adjust, but on my other bike, which over there I have Shimano Dior XTs. But anyway, you loosen them up. You can run the brake several times, and then I keep the brake locked down, and then I tightened it. And then I tried to spin it, and it was perfectly quiet. So you might be able to ride the bike. You could probably ride the bike and maybe break the discs, the pads in a little bit, and you might not hear the noise. But you know, I just figured let's do it now. Another thing is I used a clamp on this little tiny tab here. I used a vice grip. I didn't touch the fork brace when I tightened down this little Allen head behind it, because it was tweaking. The fender wanted to tweak when you tightened it down. You know, and you don't want to over tighten it, but just snug it up. And then these other bolts for it were fine. They're actually using blue thread locker. You can tell when you take them out, so when you put them back in, it should still be okay. I had some blue locker, but I didn't actually refresh it. So that was what it was on the front. I did tighten up this. I went all the way for most dampening and then back a half a turn because I'm about 200 pounds on the bike. So, and it feels pretty good. You can see kind of a little line there where it would go up to when I was riding. I like all these. Some people say, hey, they have it in front of the light. The light, I don't, it looks like it's natural this way. You know, you just tilt the light up and the cables are behind it. Got the reflector here, tighten it down. That's all good. Let's see, work my way back. I put 20 PSI air. I didn't have any problem. The connector back here is fine. I know some people had a video showing that connector in here unconnected. I do have the cables here, but they're tied up against there. It would be nice maybe to have some kind of little cover on that, but you know, you get right down on it on this thing. You know, it's not a serious off-road bike. You know, here I have a older Trans X1, you know, at the time it was $4,000 or $5,000. You know, when you're pedaling, if you look at this tire, it's not even close to your foot, you know. And the thing I noticed on this is when you're taking off and you're pedaling, you can hit the fender. So I'm you got to keep your toes back to a point and you're okay. But usually when people are pedaling, they got it right on a certain part of their foot, and that can hit. Now the fact is, you know, you got a lot of pedal assist on this. It's not like it's under your own power. So I'm not sure. I don't think the next bike, this is a step through. It's supposed to be 5, man, don't quote me, 5'7", 5'5" to 6. I know it's 6'2". I'm 6 foot, 6'1". So, but I don't think you get any more distance in here. So here, you know, you've got, you know, probably a couple inches. And on a typical mountain bike, you have, oh, I don't know, I should get a tape measure, I guess, but you got 6, 7 inches easy. So that right there, it works, but you got to keep your feet, like I said, since your feet can be there and miss, you know, the way my foot's sitting on there, and you got pedal assist, you're okay. But if you really had to put a lot of power into it and you had to put your foot down where normal people usually ride their feet on it, it's close. It's very close. Okay. With that said, you know, a smaller person, I should see if my wife, she's, you know, 5'7", 120 pounds or whatever. It might not be an issue with her on her foot on there. So I got it size 12 feet. Okay, let's move back. This was torqued nicely. Like I said, the front brakes weren't torqued probably where they should have been. I'm noticing this here kind of popping out of this. I'm going to have to get the plastic in there. Looks like it's not gonna. Anyway, this is kind of popping a little here. Not a big deal though. It's a little grommet. It's probably the cables dragging on it. All right. So this had to be tightened quite a bit. So spent some time on that because when I took it on the first ride, my seat was turned a little bit. So I cranked it a couple more notches, and you can still see there's still a gap. I think you can see there's still a pretty good gap right in there. You want to make sure that's tight. The rack came on it. I had no problems with my rack because I know people have reported broken, you know, this bolt here. I haven't pulled it out, but you know, with the box good and these broken, I think two things happened. Either someone dropped it, you know, it could have been over where they put it together in China, or I don't know how this works. I don't know if they send them to Arizona and they put them together partially there and then they, you know, get sent to people, or if they're coming straight from China. I suspect they're coming straight from China in the box. But to break that, one side or the other, either someone's, when they're putting the front wheel on, if you don't have an extra person, this is pretty heavy. You know, if it drops over and it hit hard enough, I'm wondering if that could snap that. Somehow, there was enough force to break it, obviously. So it's not something I like to think if it fell over it would break, but this is the first part that would hit the ground, you know. So I'm not going to test it to see if that's what's going on, but mine were fine. My rack was fine, it was mounted. The light wire's fine. Rear fender's already in. I did notice when I rode, I would hear some kind of noise back here. And I'm not sure really at this point if it's I wasn't sure what the noise was. I put my hand back here and kind of pull a little on the fender, and it was quiet. So I don't know, and it was a certain RPM, so it might have been some kind of a little bit of vibration. I don't think it was coming out of the hub or anything like that. So, but the first ride, and these here I think are 14 millimeter. They were not torqued to spec. You need to check the spec on them. They talk about it in their video. But they were not at the proper torque. So you want to check them all. I checked everything before you go on a ride, because you know some things get missed. Just make sure you check it all. Check all the Allen heads. They give you 2 Allen wrenches in the kit, but then I have a little torque wrench, you know, you use to check the stuff, which I've never done on my regular bikes, but it has it for this. It's actually raining pretty good today, so it's pouring. No riding today, but anyway, so I just wanted to cover that. I do like the quick connect pedals, because one of the things I'm looking at getting this for was, you know, traveling around in my RV, my 5th wheel. This paying 72 pounds. I think without the battery, it could be around 60, which is about the... Okay, we'll see how this goes. I'm redoing a route because my head was bobbing up and down so much. I'm going to try to... About 15% grade. I'm in a low gear, just seeing how this thing goes. You have to pedal, I think. I don't think the throttle will take you all the way. So I'm going 12 miles an hour. I'm gonna have to help myself up, and that's okay. So you got to pedal. This is 20% grade now. And I heard the gear hit a little. I had the throttle down, I don't know why. So I got to pedal. I'm at 7 miles an hour. This is 25% grade right here. So that's pretty incredible hill climb there. So yeah, I'm very pleased with this. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go down the hill now. So, brakes work good, front and back. Takes both of them to make a stop within a few feet. 12 miles an hour. Miles an hour right now. That's a nice little spin on it. That's quite the grade I went up too. So, okay. Pass 3. So I'm using just the throttle at this point. I'm in pass 4, let me go pass 5. I'm going 15 miles an hour, throttle only, I'm not even pedaling. So it's fine for like this, but you get 20-25%, you got to pedal it up, which is good. So that's very nice. Along here. Okay, so I got a total of 3 miles. I just went 3 miles on it. I don't know, the energy bar is way up there still. You know, as far as voltage is 52, but it's resting now. Let me turn this off. So, yeah, it all worked out pretty well. It really moves. So I'm very pleased with this thing. Yep. Very happy with it. Thanks, Lectric.